Hey, this is Jan from Restart Academy and the Self Empowerment course. And today I'm here with my good friend and passionpreneur AJ Amyx, who's gonna share some great lessons out of his experience from coaching clients, turning passions into businesses. What's up, AJ?
Dude, not much. It's a sunny day here outside of Dallas, and it's awesome. I'm happy the sun because it's out because it's been cold. So life is good, man. Life is really good.
Awesome, glad to hear that. So, can you give us a bit of background of what you're doing and what makes you qualified to share those lessons about turning passions into businesses?
Sure, pretty much what I'm doing and what I'm up to, man, is just helping mostly women who are authors or they're speakers or they're coaches, whether they're business coaches, life coaches, fitness coaches, it doesn't matter. They have some type of information that they can solve a problem in the world. We figure out how can we package that? How can we create some type of online program? How do we take it to market? How do we promote it? How do we build a list? How do we create a global business and also create a lifestyle that we enjoy? So I kind of started this journey back in 2008, 2009, after I was a professional musician. At that time, we're an indie artist, but we had record labels approaching us, asking us to sign some record contracts. Looked
Nice.
at them, didn't like them. Had this big ass tour bus at the time, like a 38-foot tour bus, and
Wow.
we had video play. So we did pretty good as an independent artist. And my job, yeah, I was a guitar player. Yeah, I helped write songs. But more importantly, I was pretty much kind of the management role and the marketing guy. Like, I was kind of behind the scenes making everything happen between shows, right? It's keeping the
Hmm.
group together, promoting. And so that was my heart and soul, is business and promotion and marketing. So when that fell apart in October of 2009 and all of us guys decided to step away because it just wasn't a good fit anymore, we just had different visions for our lives. I said, what is it I want to do? And I wanted to start creating a business where I could work from anywhere in the world. So that's
Hmm.
what kind of set me on the journey, gave me a new possibility, seeing in this possibility by Tim Ferriss with the 4 Hour Work Week and creating his Muse concept. And I was like, dude, if Tim can do this, I can figure this out. So over the past 4 years, I went on this journey and I working with different mentors, going to different online courses and webinars, attending different offline seminars by people like Brendon Burchard and what was the latest one I went to? Steve Harris. We went to his
Wow.
publicity summit in New York. And so continue investing myself, gaining skill sets. So what makes me qualified? I don't have some type of certificate. People can just look at the results that I have. So I have a business where I do get to work from anywhere. Right now we're in my home office. And I live outside of Dallas on 3 acres. There's 48 acres between me and my family behind us. And it's nice, it's quiet, but at the same time, I can be on the airplane and be in San Francisco like I was just last week and exploring stuff with my girlfriend or what other adventures we want. And I have clients that are in Bulgaria, have clients in the UK, have clients in Canada, and I'm able to use technology to facilitate helping people get from point A to point B, which is taking what they know and their information, packaging that into a way, marketing it, and then collecting cash to create the lifestyle that they want to experience.
Oh, that's awesome, man. So you're building a worldwide business or running a worldwide business and helping people all over the world.
Exactly.
What type of clients do you normally have? Do they have any special technical knowledge or is there any skill set that's required or do you coach basically anyone?
So I wouldn't say I coach anybody. If they have a nonfiction book, if they have, if they're speaking on some type of nonfiction topic, something that's going to help people,
Yeah.
or if they're a coach helping people solve a specific problem. So I guess you could say if they want to be an expert within their space, if they have an information product that they want to create, those are the type of people I'm helping. Now, like, what are the topics that these people are on, these women are doing all over the board? My client in Bulgaria, she's crushing it in the violin space. I mean, she plays the violin amazingly well. She plays for the orchestra there in Bulgaria. And when she was here in the States, because she's originally from here in America, and she had a school where people came in and she taught lessons and all of that type of thing. And she said, what could I do if I want to move to Bulgaria? Because I want to. But could I
Hmm.
take my offline business model where I'm teaching and instructing and do it online?
Yeah.
And so we created this concept where she created what she called Violin Secrets Academy, where it's just a membership program where people come and they join and they're learning all of the knowledge that she's learned over the 25 years of playing the violin, but they're learning it from the videos. And she's also doing Skype sessions, just like we're having this conversation right now on Skype, but she's training children. She has people in Mexico, she has people in the States, she has people in Europe. that are consuming her content, that are spending time with her. And what she's finding is that people are growing exponentially, because it's not like you come home and you go to see buddy and that's it. If they're struggling with something, they can rewatch the content. They can pick up their instrument and play along. If they have any questions, then they can join our mastermind programs or live events, etc. I have other people who are just social media consultants wanting to help brick and mortars, and they want to know how to package and position themselves. I have other people who are getting their businesses started. So one is, what does she do? She's in Miami right now. She's teaching people how to be yacht stewardesses. Her entire career was going from $15,000 to over $90,000 a year in income in a period of 3 short years.
Wow.
And she's reaching back and helping young women learn how to not only make more money in the yacht stewardess industry, but how to obtain it and keep it, and kind of learn from some of the mistakes she's had. Other people have found out how to tackle relationships and business and kind of have both of those at the same times. Because many times as high producing entrepreneurs, we kill it in business and then our relationships suck ass. We have great relationships and then our business sucks ass. So she's like trying to figure out, how do we have this balance between business and these fulfilled relationships, and it is even possible. So that's one of the programs that she's in the process of creating and process of attracting her tribe on what she's learned. So they're kind of all over, but it's all at the end of the day about problems. Are you helping people financially? Are you solving a problem in relationships? Or are you solving a problem in the body? And if you can serve one of those 3 areas, you can get paid offline or online, you know?
Yeah, I totally agree with that. So you would say basically anyone could start a profitable business. My target audience is about starting businesses on the side, not quitting their job, but starting on the side to smoothly transition to entrepreneurship. And would you say anybody could do that without even knowing what they're good at? How can people know what skill to use to start a business on the side?
Yeah, so I believe anybody can do it on the side, yes. But first and foremost, they're going to need a little bit of capital. You know, people will say, well, it doesn't take money to make money. And I would agree with that, but it's a hell lot easier if you have a little bit of skrill in the bank. So you can invest in some marketing strategy, so you could hire a mentor, so somebody can come into your program and learn the step-by-step processes, right? It's a little easier. But when it comes to saying, well, what do I take to market? At the end of the day, we have to look at ourselves and say, well, what is the problem that I'm really solving? You know, and I kind of mentioned this, that it's in one of 3 areas. It's either you're helping people make more money, you're helping people in their relationships, helping have better relationships, or you're helping people in their body. Whether we're helping people lose weight, we're helping people get shredded, build more muscle, get more slim, get more lean, have a better nutrition, have more energy. It's in one of those 3 areas. So if you can pull back all of the fluff and really get down to, well, can I get a result? What result can I get? Because like in my industry, in the coaching and the author and the speaking, our job is to get people a result as quick as possible. That's what they pay us for. They pay us to get them from point A, their prison, to point B, their new paradise, and cross that gap as quick as possible. But I think that's any entrepreneur's, like, that's their duty, period. It doesn't matter if you're in the software industry. If I buy some software, like I bought some software from Ryan Dice just yesterday called Audience Maker, because I had a problem. I'm running some Facebook ads and they're converting good, but he proposed a solution which was targeting a target audience quicker and more efficiently. I was like, bingo, I'll try it out. Bought the software, right? So we have to figure, what is the problem that we're solving, and then say, I solved this problem, and if I can't get your result, here's your money back. And if you can get the problem and solve it for them, you're good as gold, and people are going to continue saying, hey, I want to come work for this person. If you're having this problem, they're going to refer you business, and life is good.
Yeah, that's exactly the strategy I'm approaching myself in my course. How would you advise people finding that skill that solves a problem? Because when you're working in a job from 9 to 5 for like 10 years or something, this job blurs your natural talents. You're just doing what you're told to do and not doing what you're truly passionate about. Any tips on that?
Yeah, so I think, you know, we all have these passions. And I think this is important. People talk about making money from passions, follow your bliss, and the money will follow and all that, yada, yada, yada. But at the end of the day, we have to have the skill sets that's going to back up the passion. So the passion, what I'm saying is, like, the passion is the starting point. Because like in today's marketplace, if we're not continually honing our craft and getting better and better and better, the person who is hungrier than we will take over our business and be better than us, and they will steal our clients because we suck if we don't continue growing and growing and pushing our boundaries to get better and better and seeing what is truly possible. What is truly possible? This is why it's important for goal setting and visualization and getting clear on what you want and continue to get that and then grow and get that and then grow, right?
Yeah.
And so I think that we have to look and say, okay, what is it that I love to learn? What is it that I'm hungry about, that when I wake up that I want to read the books on this? I want to listen to the audios. I want to go to the seminars. I want to hang around these types of people. What is that? It excites me. And then whatever that thing is that we love learning about, whether this is sailboats or jet boats or cars or technology or personal development or meditation or whatever it is, it doesn't matter. Then find out the skill set. You have to look within yourself and say, okay, well, I like this. This is fun. What skill sets do I have that will solve the people's problems within this type of industry? And if you could say, well, I've been working at this job doing tech work for the past 10 years. I'm a pretty good designer. Well, then you have to ask yourself, well, do I enjoy designing? Like, is this a great thing that I really, really enjoy? And if you're like, well, yeah, I like it, then you ask yourself the question, well, is this something I want to do for the rest of my life? And you may say, well, I don't think I want to do this for the rest of my life, but I wouldn't mind doing this as a starting place, as a stepping stone to go from out of my job into maybe creating my own job, to creating my own schedule, to then something else. But for right now, I have the skill set where I can design websites. I can solve a problem for people, and then I need to learn how to package and position that and then take it to market, and then you could create that business on the side while you're still working at your current job, and then transition. And then from there, once you transition, you can, again, continue that business and ask yourself, what is the next thing I want to grow, right? What's the next skill set that I have? Because as people, as we're continuing to evolve, we're always going to be getting new skill sets. We're always going to be able to solve different things for people. And, life becomes this evolutionary process, and we just kind of allow the journey to unfold as we continue to unfold ourselves.
Yeah. Well, that goes into the direction of like becoming an expert in the field that you're passionate about. I think people have way more expertise than they are actually aware of, because we're making experiences all day. We're living 24 hours a day, and in that time, when we're not sleeping, we're having experiences and we're acquiring knowledge. How would you turn that knowledge step by step into a business idea? And how would you validate that idea?
So here's what I teach people all the time. I teach my students this, and I call this process like mapping, right?
Okay.
Because many times we come up with this idea, and we'll just use website design for the sake of ease here. You're like, well, I would like to be a web designer. And so then you're like, well, I'm going to build websites. And then you get a client. Somehow you're networking with people. Somebody says, what do you do? You're like, well, I build websites. People are like, well, I really need one. And so you tell them a price. They buy it. And then you're like, shit, I have my first client. And then as you're going through this process, your mind creeps up into your psyche, and your ego's like, I'm not qualified to do this.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I work for this company. I don't know. We like start freaking out, right? And what happens is we don't take the time to clarify our map, meaning, okay, let's make a list of the assets that I have, the skill sets that I have. Let's make a list of the strengths that I have. Let's make a list of the weaknesses and see it on paper. But more importantly, let's map out my life. Like, let's say, when did I first not know how to do websites? And you may say, well, this was in 2007. And then you're like, well, let's put down 2008. Let's list everything we can think of that happened in 2008 in our lives. The good things, things that we've learned, the bad things, things that didn't matter, movies we watched, books we read. And then the same thing for 2009, 2010, 11, 12, 2013, all the way up to 2014 to the present day that you're in. Well, once you do this on paper, you can look and you're like, well, there was this time in 2007 when I knew nothing and I didn't have any skill sets. And now here I am in 2014 where I can build these things pretty much in my sleep, and this isn't a hard thing. This is awesome. Well, then you have to take it deeper and you say, okay, this is the problem that I'm solving for my marketplace, which is designing websites.
Mm-hmm.
What is the prison that my target market's experiencing? So you look back at your life and you're saying, okay, there was a time when I didn't know anything about websites. What did that prison look like? What did that sound like? And what did that feel like? Because what happens is when you know what it sounds and it looks like and it feels like, this is creating the emotional resonancy that's going to resonate with your target market. This is the pain that they're experiencing, which is, I don't know HTML code, I don't know CSS, I don't know how to make this pin show up on the web. Like, I don't even know where to start. The idea of hosting and URLs is just overwhelming. And then you look at, okay, well, where is this paradise that I'm living in now, which is, I know CSS code, I know HTML, I know HTML5. I can make this pin appear on the web if I need to. I understand that hosting is kind of like this land and the URL is the house, and you have to have two of them to make the whole property and the real estate thing work on the web. And you're getting results because you're getting clients, because people are finding you and they're finding your solutions on Google. And then you say, okay, well, here I am at the paradise and here I am at the prison. Then you have to look at your life and say, well, what's the path that I went on? And this is kind of the framework that I'm teaching people to do in information products. What's the path that I take? And you look back upon your life that you mapped out and you're like, well, step 1 was this, step 2 was this, step 3 was this, step 4 was this. Now, if you wanted to, you could create a course or a program and then teach upon that and have people pay for that. Or more importantly, you just look at it and you're like, I am qualified because I used to be here and now I'm here, and these are the path that I've taken. And nobody can take this away from me because this is my life experience. This isn't just some college degree or some certificate that I went and transacted money for and return got a piece of paper which has no meaning at all. These are results that I produce on a daily basis, and these are steps that I take. Life is good, so I am qualified to do that. And what happens is it gives us confidence and it gives us certainty, which allows us to go out and get more clients and higher paying clients because we're standing in our certainty that we can produce a result.
Yeah, what I like to use as an example is the audience never knows how much the expert really knows. So it's basically enough if you are 1 or 2 steps, know 1 or 2 things more than the audience knows, and then you are the expert in their eyes because you can explain things that they don't understand. And I think we need to get clear about the term expert itself, because an expert is not the professor on the university anymore. The expert is anyone who knows how to use Google and knows how to learn new things and apply new things to the everyday routines. What's interesting though is when you know, or you got clear that you are an expert in the field, how do you find a profitable business idea? So for example, you know that you're good at web design. How would you validate that you can actually get web design clients? How would you make yourself stand out of the market and analyze the competition and all that stuff?
So I think you need to look at what makes you unique, right? People call this your USP, your unique selling proposition. So you build a website, that's fantastic, but what makes you unique? Is it your price points? That could be not just because you chose lower, maybe you're the highest person and you're like, I am the most expensive web designer in the world. Well, why do you why do you charge the highest fees? Is it because your customer service is like the best customer service? Is it because if they have any questions, they can contact you at any time? Is it because that your hosting is easy to use? Or, you just have to look within it and say, well, why would people want to pay me? Right? And most people say, well, I have this feature and this feature and this feature. But at the end of the day, nobody cares about features. We have to look at and say, well, if people are going to work for me, what are the benefits, the true actual benefits that they're going to get when they work with me? Right?
Where's the difference?
What's the difference?
The difference between features and benefits.
So the features are just kind of like, for instance, people come work with me. They can learn how to build websites. They can learn how to create their opt-in offers. They can learn how to market themselves, package themselves, know exactly what their message is, and get crystal clear that they're damn good at what they do, right? But the benefits, these are the features, the benefits of knowing that information is that they can work for money in the world. They can travel the world with their family and friends, and that they actually get money in their bank account. That would be the benefit, something that they can take, like this pen. The benefit of this pen is I could write a letter, right? The benefit of this pen is that I can, actually a feature, is that I can write a check, right? The feature of the pen is I can write a check, but the benefit is that I get money from somebody, or I'm paying somebody. It's benefiting my life. It's not just something the pen can do. It's how is it benefiting my life? Does that make sense?
Yeah, so you're practically growing a connection based on emotions and based on positive associations that people can expect from taking your coaching course.
Exactly.
Uh,
That they can take away and implement and experience in their lives.
would you say that's applicable for any kind of business? Talk,
Yeah,
talking
totally.
about benefits?
100%. Any business has to talk about the benefits and ask themselves, what are the benefits? And that's the thing that's going to separate you from your competition, because most of your competition is being like, well, these are the features of what I do. This is who I help, and this is how I help them. Okay.
That
Why does it matter if you help them? So what? So if you could tweak your knowledge and what you're saying and your message to your marketplace saying, well, this is who I am, this is who I help, this is how I help them, so that they can experience or get this thing, and this thing, then you're going to start resonating with your market in a very big way.
yeah.
Because they're going to be like, boom, that's what I need, and this guy can help me get that. Perfect.
Yeah, that's actually similar to a principle that I'm teaching in my self-empowerment course, which is the golden circle that was invented by Simon Sinek originally. You have like three circles. The most outer one is what you're doing. The middle one is how you're doing, and the true core is why. Why are you doing what you're doing, and what are the benefits, or why do you want to do what you do? That often results in calling out the benefits of what you're doing for other people. Um, when it comes to actually getting started, most people experience obstacles like feeling they're not qualified, or are getting scared of getting out of their comfort zone, and experiencing the questions like, what will my family think, and will I be able to support myself, pay my bills, all that stuff. What are the most common obstacles that you experience in your lessons?
All of that, but more importantly, people are asking themselves, am I truly worthy to be doing this? Like, am I actually good enough? I mean, because when it comes down to the money thing, what will my family think? You know, the fear of criticism, the fear of not having enough money, any of these type of things. The root of it is our projection on ourselves of I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy of this, because
Yeah.
we're saying, well, I'm not going to make any money because people aren't going to think I'm good enough to produce this. I'm not going to be successful in my business, and or my family's going to be, say this and this about me because I'm not going to be good enough in my business produce the results that I'm hoping to produce, right?
Yeah.
So we're kind of coming from this place of that certainty doesn't exist, confidence doesn't exist, and from this place, when we're coming from this place, we're completely crippling our ability to generate cash. I mean, because in order to generate cash, you have to be very clear on what you want to create. You have to be very confident in your ability to pull it off, and you have to be absolutely certain in the results that you're going to be able to produce for people. And if you can do that, then the rest of it takes care of itself. The money's going to come in. People, your family are going to be like, they may doubt you at first, but once you just set that off to the side and don't worry about that projection, and you just move forward, then you're getting the results. And then they're like, well, I'll be damned. That guy is, or my daughter, my son, my cousin, whatever, they're doing great. Rock on, right? And then you're going to start being that light for people. But it's
Yeah.
uncomfortable, and we have to dig deep to figure out that confidence and that certainty.
Yeah, and I think the mapping technique that you laid out in the beginning is really helpful for this exercise. How do you deal with those negative projections? Is there a method how to limit the effect that negative projections have on your daily actions?
So there's a couple of ways that I've dealt with it, because I believe every entrepreneur at some point in their journey, and I think it evolves as we evolve,
Yeah.
and we have to learn how to deal with it. Part of it is all of our ego. So for me, meditation has been a huge, huge, huge help. I just downloaded this app. It's called Omvana, Omvana. You can go to the App Store and Apple, pick it up. It's free. I've been using instant meditations, and they're awesome. They're like really good for helping me get clear and kind of releasing some of those negative frequencies and thoughts and projections. The other thing is being aware of who I'm surrounding myself with. And so if somebody is consistently bombarding me with negative energy and negative thoughts, and they're not building me up and lifting me up, then I need to take inventory and say, well, do I want to be in a relationship with this person right now?
Yeah.
Can I limit my time with this person? Because this isn't at my stage where I'm at right now, this is not serving me. And if it's not serving me and my good, then I can't even help this person because I'm not even showing up in my best self. So I need to make sure I limit my time with this individual. This doesn't mean that they're bad. I just have to make sure that I'm taking care of myself first. Another thing is if you like say your circle, you don't have anybody, like nobody in your circle is like positive and helping you. Well, then there's books, there's YouTube videos, there's people on Facebook who are writing empowering information, and you can follow these people. There's certain people in my industry who I randomly stumble across because I'm in different masterminds and so forth. I like what they're posting, and I'll send them a message saying, "Hey, dude, love what you're up to, love what you're sharing on Facebook. I don't want to come into a program with you or anything, but I would love just to get your posts. They're very inspirational." And they're like, "I would love to." I accept their friend request, and then my news feed is full of all of this motivational, all of this empowering content. So I'm shaping my world to be empowering and supporting me to be my best self. I've learned that's like the best thing that I can do personally to work with the exterior projections. And the more I work on myself and shape that environment, the easier it is to deal when those projections come because I'm learning to build more confidence and more certainty within myself.
Yeah, that's a great tip. Actually, what I'm using myself is I just accept those negative feedback and negative projections as part of the game we are all playing. Because when we are working towards our goals, those goals are usually above mediocrity. We are trying to reach, like you said before, 1 million people in the world, and we're trying to work from everywhere we can and live independently. So when people hear that, we show them how mediocre their lives are, and we show them how many chances they are missing. So they just try to pull us down and try to discourage us to make themselves feel better. It's not nothing against us, it's just their comfort zone taking control and just making themselves feel better. Um, are there any other lessons that are similarly important that you teach your clients on a regular basis?
Yeah, the other one, I have one other one here. Here it is. So, because I made a note because I don't want to forget about it. So the other
Awesome.
thing was, and I mentioned this, it was skill sets.
Mm.
As an entrepreneur, this doesn't matter like what industry you're in. You have to master the 3 skill sets of marketing, sales, and systems. Period. Like you must invest in yourself in learning marketing, learning sales, and systems.
Yeah.
Because without those things, you will die. Die meaning you will not make enough money. If you don't make enough money, then your dream's dead because you have to go somewhere else to fulfill this need because you have to have cash to live in this physical realm. You have to, right? I mean, you can't get around it. Money's not this bad thing, it's this tool. So by investing in marketing, start investing in programs, start reading books daily, start listening to the podcast daily. That's going to help you grow within marketing, your ability to generate leads. But you can generate 40,000 leads a day, but if you can't close them, you're still going to go broke. So you have to learn how to sell those leads.
Yeah.
Like daily, you want to invest in books and in audios and people and programs that are going to help you master the idea of sales. And then if you are marketing your ass off and you're generating tons of leads a day, and then you're closing, then you have all this fulfillment to do. And if you don't have the systems in place, you're going to be overwhelmed, you're going to burn out, and then you're just going to throw everything you've created in the trash. I've been there. It's an interesting place just to throw it all away and start over because you're so overwhelmed. So the systems help you systematize your business so you're starting to live that lifestyle.
Yeah.
And you don't have to be overwhelmed and think, well, before I take a leap, I need to figure out marketing and sales and systems. Just allow it to be this evolutionary process and just allow yourself to commit each day. Study something on marketing, study something on sales, study something on systems, whether this is just listening to a YouTube video, reading a book, listening to a podcast. I mean, just spend 30 minutes a day reading a blog on one of those subjects consistently every day, and your skill sets and your ideas and your paradigms of what's possible is going to continue to grow and expand. And as a result, your business is going to continue to grow and expand.
Yeah. What I learned that complements what you said is not being afraid of failing. Because I think failing is another very important part in the journey that we are all on. Because we're just getting better by failing, by making mistakes and applying what we've learned through following blogs and reading books and listening to podcasts and all the other mediums where we can consume content. And when we put the content into action for the first time, it's natural to fail because it's our first time. And it's nothing to be afraid of, or it's nothing to be ashamed of. It's just how it is.
I completely agree. Real world example. I was running some Facebook ad campaign. I spent about $500. Failed miserably. And I was mad. I was like, son of a bitch, didn't even generate a single lead from this. What in the hell's going on? And so then I invested in a program to figure out how the whole ad thing's working. Redid everything, redid the ads, redid the copy, redid everything, implemented, and then I started getting conversions for about $4, about five. I think they're costing about $5 right now. So totally brand new for me, but I'm like, yes, right? But it was this idea. I tried it, absolutely failed, cost me money. It's okay. Your learning's expensive. Whether you go to college and pay a professor, or you pay a mentor, or you just trial and error until you figure it out, it's going to cost you some money to learn something, right?
Yeah.
If we continue to allow ourselves to fall forward and embrace, okay, well, I'm not an absolute failure because this didn't work, but rather, what did I learn from this?
Yeah.
And so what I learned when I hired the company to do it, we're running sidebar ads. Sidebar ads right now on Facebook suck ass, right? The newsfeed ads, they're doing pretty good if you have a good picture and good copy. So that's what I learned, but I wouldn't have learned that if I wouldn't have been willing to fail forward that first time.
Yeah, exactly. What's one last advice you would give to somebody building a business on the side?
I would say the next thing is, like you said, allow it to be an evolution. But more importantly, don't leave your job. Like, don't take, like, I like this idea of taking a leap. People say taking a leap of faith, and people say, well, I'm going to jump off the cliff and I'm going to grow my wings on the way down, and I either learn to fly or I hit the ground, right?
Yeah.
And I've done this a few times, and more times than not, I hit the ground. And you can hit the ground and you're going to learn stuff, but it's uber painful, okay? And so I would recommend you to say, okay, well, this is my job and this is what I have to do, but I'm going to continue learning and implementing daily. And don't think that it has to be built overnight. I mean, this could be a 1 year, a 2 year process where you're implementing consistently daily and daily and daily. And as a result, then you're going to just kind of transition smoothly. Think of it being like on a seesaw. If you are on one end and the seesaw is way up here and you're sitting, you're like, well, I want to go to this place. And you run to the other side of the seesaw, then you just fall and nothing happens. There's no balance. Rather, if you will consistently walk to the middle and you can equally distribute your weight, you have this nice balance. So then it's a smoother transition as you slowly make your way across rather than just going across. That would be my last tip of advice.
Awesome. Thanks for taking the time, AJ. You rocked it.
Thanks, Jan. Dude, always. Anytime I can help, I'm here, bud.